Please take a seat on the comfy sofa. I'll take this one. Awesome. Let's just check.
Fighting Mike Tyson, one of the icons of the sport, yeah, it was a no-brainer.
And of course, the famous BOXPARK incident.
Oh God.
Hi, I'm Carl Randall and I'm very excited about today's video because with me we have former British heavyweight champion and European heavyweight kickboxing champion Julius Francis. With 48 fights, 23 wins and 12 knockouts, we're going to be talking all about Julius's career, his move over to the security industry, and of course the famous BOXPARK incident.
Oh God.
I suppose we start off with your career, huge career. I just said former British champion. How did you get into boxing?
How did I get into boxing? Boxing for me definitely wasn't the first thing I ever thought of, especially as a kid. But I was never really that interested in it. Even through school and secondary school, never really took much notice of it. And then what happened, I was working, got home one evening, switched on the TV, and I had a little black and white TV, small little black and white, maybe about 14-inch screen TV. And as soon as I turned it on, the name Dave Stewart rang out. So obviously I knew that name, Dave Stewart. I went to school with a guy named Dave Stewart. But I didn't know that he was a boxer. I didn't know he was a boxer. So sat there and watched him win the ABAs back in, oh God, a long time ago, in the 80s.
You thought you could do that?
And that's what it was for me, And so I remember that was on the Wednesday. I bumped into David on the Saturday outside McDonald's in Woolwich. And I said to him, look, Dave, I've got big arms, I'm strong, I can box, I can do what you did. So he said, look, all right then, go round, get yourself a gum shield from the local sports shop and meet me at the gym, which was the following Tuesday. Got my gum shield, met him on the Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock. Went into the gym and honestly, just jumped in the ring and started sparring. But sparring was whether he was playing with me or beat the crap out of me. I couldn't lay a glove on him.
Really?
So, and because of that, it got me hooked on boxing.
That was the first time you ever threw punches though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first time I ever tried to box.
Yeah.
Before then, I used to get in trouble fighting at school, fighting everywhere, fighting on the road, but before then, I'd never tried boxing. And then I think from that moment on, I was hooked on boxing. I really was just hooked on boxing. I wanted to learn this thing that I couldn't do, Dave was a great boxer. He was a great boxer. Very much in the kind of the mould of a Joe Frazier. Really good left hooker. Dave could really punch. What I didn't know about Dave Stewart, was that he had an older brother that was light heavyweight world champion.
Wow.
His older brother, Leslie Stewart, back in the day was world light heavyweight champion. Apparently David was a better boxer than his brother. And we sparred and trained for years. And I could never ever get the better of him.
No.
For many years, could never get the better of him.
But that kept pushing you.
And one day, I remember one day we were sparring, and he must have beat me all over the place. He didn't let up, right? He would hit me with everything. And he said to me, I said to him after training one day, I said, Dave, I said, how comes you are always so hard on me? You know, you don't give me any leeway, or you don't take it easy with me. And he said, your opponent won't go easy on you. No. And as soon as he said that, it clicked. I went, okay, all right, that's it then. That's it, yeah. And that was my kind of
intro into it.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I mentioned before, it's been 16 years since your last professional fight. You're now working in security.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, I've always worked security. I've kind of done security, or being a bouncer, or being a doorman for the last nearly 40 years.
Wow, yeah.
Not sure my age though. But yeah, so nearly 40 years of working doors, doing security, being a bouncer, as it was called back in the day.
How have you seen the industry change?
Oh God, there's been major changes. The
SIA have come in and introduced
the SIA. Yeah, you had the SIA badge. I remember. So when I first started, there was nothing. It was just kind of the local tough guys, the local hard men, the local gangsters. Then there was this thing where, obviously with the police getting involved and police not wanting to having known gangsters running doors and nightclubs and stuff like that. Then we had the obviously the explosion of the drugs kind of trade on doors in clubs in the 80s, mid 80s, 90s. Then there was that crackdown. It was remember the Leah Betts case? I think that might have been the late 90s, early 2000s, where her father, I think, was a policeman, and she ended up dying, taking ecstasy or something like that. And then that's when there was a real change in door policies and doormen and licensing, clubs having to have licensed doormen. So there weren't the SIA, because that wasn't considered, but there was the fact that whoever owned, say, a security firm had to have licenses for the guys that they worked on the doors with. That's where I saw changes. So I was working even when I turned pro, I was still working doors. So the mid 90s, a guy that I worked for, and it was funny because yes, he had to have the license, and then his guys, they kind of just give you a little paper card, so and basically said, if the police ask you, just pull the card out, show them that's who you work for. And that's, I was working big doors and big events and big clubs just with a card in my back pocket kind of thing. And then I don't think I was fully licensed or got an SIA license till I think I've had my license now maybe 10 years or so, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe less. Maybe it might even be less than that. Since I came back into working doors and stuff.
And you recently just done the SIA.
Yes. Yeah.
Licensed.
Yeah. I done. Yeah. With Get Licensed. Yeah.
How was that?
It was fun. It was different. I'm always a bit dubious sometimes when I take tests. I hate taking tests. When it comes down to tests, I'm actually a very nervous person.
Yeah, really?
Yes, I am. I don't know why, but I don't like taking driving tests. Or I remember I took my motorbike. I was doing my CBT, and then I was taking my motorbike test, and I failed miserably. Absolutely failed miserably. I kind of, as we left the starting point where we took the bikes out from, I think I made a left, I made a right, and then he said turn right, I turned left. And from that moment on, I was wasted. I was done. It was crazy. Yeah, I was. I hate taking tests. Sitting, writing tests, driving tests, any of them. I hate taking them.
So how did you find the tests with this course?
Doing the practical, I'm always good with practical stuff. But then when it comes down to writing, I've never been the best writer. I've never been the best reader. And yeah, it's. But I would say that all the information that you need is there. Or it's either there on the Get License app.
Yeah, did you do all the mock exams?
Yes, so that's the best advice I can say with doing the tests. With the mock exams and all that, you go over and do it 3 or 4 times if you want. You know, that was it. That was, but yeah, I'm kind of, when it comes to tests, yeah, that's me. I'm done. I'm done. I hate them. I hate tests.
Yeah. So whereabouts have you worked in security?
Oh God, I've worked everywhere. I've worked everywhere. I've done CP stuff, festivals, carnivals. Oh God, I've worked, no, schools. I think I've done bits and pieces in schools. You know, when you do knocking on doors and kicking people out of residences.
Oh, like
bailiffs, yeah, I've done that kind of bailiff stuff.
Literally everything.
Yeah, kind of.
And you working full-time or part-time at the minute?
And now, yeah, basically full-time.
Yeah, and that's at
BOXPARK, yeah, full-time at BOXPARK, which is a great venue. That at BOXPARK, we have all different things happening there because obviously it's BOXPARK Wembley, but you have BOXPARK Wembley, you have BOXPARK Croydon, you have BOXPARK Shoreditch. And I've worked at all 3 of those venues at different events. You know, Croydon event worked with like gigs and yeah, like Teachy Strider and all those kind of things. Yeah.
What advice would you give the people looking to start work and find work in security?
In security, study and learn, study and learn the game. I say that what I do with most people that come in to where we work, sometimes we have new people coming in. I'm very much a watcher because I like to see if they can handle certain situations. You know, sometimes it can get really busy at BOXPARK Wembley because we have football events going on. Sometimes we have major events at the stadium or at the arena. So then we get the overspill. We get the overspill, or we get fan parks and fan zones, and we have to kind of do those events. And it's just about the way that the people interact with customers coming in, searching, which I think is very important. You know, as I've seen. And I have to tell people how to search. When you do your courses on getting your SIA badge, you are taught how to search. But and then when you are taught how to search, I would say that what people don't do is they don't practice it. They'll go, oh, I've seen him do it, but now actually being hands-on, they're a bit intimidated. But I say you have to practice. Don't be afraid to touch someone. But if you're in that role of a searcher, don't be afraid to actually put your hands on these people, because that's what your job entails.
They're expecting it.
Yes, and that's what they're expecting. They're expecting to be touched and searched. So don't just kind of rub your fingers, because you can't feel nothing. You don't know what they've got, and it's happened. And I have to say to myself, I've been guilty of it, where I've known someone's face and gone, oh, and he's okay, and then something untoward has happened, and you go, oh, why did I do that? Yeah. So it's and I have to take responsibility. So now, it's right across the board. Whoever you are, you go through the same process.
There's currently a big demand for security professionals as well.
Sorry?
There's currently a big demand for security professionals
Yes,
as well.
yes. And there's a big demand for females.
Females, massive.
Yeah. And I get asked this quite a lot about with females. And they'll come to me and say, oh, but I'm not big enough, I'm not strong enough. I say, think about this. When you have the badge, security is smoke and mirrors. Really. It's about projecting yourself, you know? You don't have to be hard and big and tough. I'm fortunate that I'm a big man and I've worked in this industry for a long time, and I know how to get the best out of people. I know how to deal with people, you know, without being rude, but I can be forceful and I can be direct and commanding. And that's what you need, you know. You don't have to growl at people, you know. Not necessarily growl at them and be kind of horrible to them, but just be forceful. Excuse me, sirs, madam, I need this, or can I have this, or can you do this? You know, guys, girls, queues on this side, queue is on this side. You know, just be for and like I say to especially some of the girls that I've worked with, they might be small and whatever, but once you have the badge, you're in command. So you project that. Come into the industry and learn. That's the key. That's the key. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
You've got people around you as well. Loads of experience.
Yes, and if you don't understand something, so I'll just ask questions. It's as simple as that.
And obviously now you've been in security for nearly 40 years.
Yes, a long time.
What would you say you enjoy about working in security?
Meeting people, meeting the guys and the guys that I work with.
Yeah.
You know.
Good team.
Yes, I've got a good team around me. Guys that want to learn as well, which is one thing that I know that I can pass on my knowledge. You know, when I hear guys say to me, "Wow, Julius, I learned so much from you over the years," and I say the same thing. I've learned off of the older guys and the guys that I worked with previous.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and I always say this anyway because I work in schools as well. So, and I suppose sometimes as adults we always expect that we're the teachers, but we can also learn from the youngsters. You know, young kids teach me, and they teach me, and they've taught me about boxing when I working in schools. I boxed for years, and I was a champion. But then I learned things from youngsters. I had certain processes that I used to do when I was boxing, but then I didn't know what those processes were. Necessarily, I couldn't voice them. And then the kids told me that it's this step, and this step. And they put them into words. And I went, oh, wow, yeah, you're right. You know, so our elders can teach youngsters and youngsters can teach elders at the same time. You know, and this is what in security, learn from the elders and the elders can teach the youngsters and the youngsters can teach the elders, you know, certain things and maybe things that we've forgotten.
Yeah. You
know, meeting people. I've met basically kings and queens and princesses and princes and millionaires, multi-millionaires, billionaires, you know what I mean? And you learn from all these different people. You learn different things. You can take things away from them just by having a few words and talking, and you know, yeah, this is definitely one of the things.
Have you had many customers come up to you and recognise you from your boxing days?
Oh God, yes. I have lots of people come up to me, and it's nice. It is nice that people come up and say, "Oh, I remember you fought Mike Tyson," and they say, some people just come up to me and say, "Oh, is it true that you fought Mike Tyson?" I say, "Yeah." And I always give a nudge a little bit, you know. And I go, "Nah, no, you never. I said, yeah. I said, and I always say, "What? How much you got to lose?" And I say, "Nah, all right then." I'll look it up, and they get their phone out and obviously look it up. And someone go, oh, is that really you? And I say, does it look like me? And I say, yeah, kind of. And I say, well, yeah, it was me in my younger days, you know. But, yeah, and I have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah. Have you ever had anyone try and start any bother? Because obviously being a professional boxer.
Not because I'm a pro fighter, or I have been a pro fighter, not because I'm Julius. Maybe just because they can't get into the venue, or there's been an incident inside the venue or whatever. But yeah, I've had the trouble that I've had on the doors has not been because of who I am, it's because of what I'm representing.
Something else has happened.
Yeah, something else has happened inside the club, something happens outside the club, but not because of the person, Julius.
Yeah. Speaking of incidents, working in security, things are always going to come up. You know where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Certain times you're going to have to step up.
Yes.
And that happened at BOXPARK.
Yeah, the recent interview, and I say recent interview, it's like now it's like a month and a half, maybe more, since that video went viral.
Yeah. So let's start from the beginning. How did it start? What was going on inside the venue?
Well, to start off with, I wasn't at the door. I was actually on my lunch break. So, and this is the whole story as it was for me. I've come back from my lunch break, come to take my position on the door. I'm on the door for only a couple of minutes, and then one of my guys says to me, "Oh, there's a guy inside with a bottle." So I said, "All right, then, cool. Just go and have a word with him, take the bottle off him, put it in the cloakroom, he can get it when he leaves." Fine, I didn't think anything of it. Next thing I know, I get a call on the radio. Julius, can you come down to outside one of the food vendors? So I go there. As I go there, get round the corner, as I approach this group, one of the guys turns around, "Oh, Julius comes and hugs me." I was like, "Oh, slow down. I'm slow down, I need to know what's going on." So my guy says to me, my security guard says to me, "One of these guys has got to leave." And I can hear the guy getting quite loud and kind of moving around or whatever. So I say, "All right," I listened to what the story was. The guy's been rude, the guy's been cheeky, and then he's actually assaulted my staff.
Oh, really?
Right. So what he's done is he's had a bottle of drink. He's been asked to give the bottle in, and we're going to take it, put it in the cloakroom, get it when you leave, because we don't allow glass bottles or any glass in the venue. So he's taken the bottle out. This is what I've been told. He's taken the bottle out, went to drink the bottle. My guy's taken it off of him, and he's taken the lid and thrown the lid in the doorman's face. So obviously, right, so that's that. When he tells me that, I say, "All right then, he's got to leave." So as I say that, one of the guys is talking to me. The guy disappears, goes upstairs. I follow him, go to the toilet, call my manager on the way, "Can he meet me?" As I go to the toilets and look, no one in the toilets. "Oh, where's he gone? He's disappeared." I see my manager. I call my manager. He said, "Oh." As I turned around, the guy's coming out one of the cubicles. All I did was block the doorway. Didn't touch him. Put my hand. I said, "Hold on, mate. Can I just have a quick word?" My manager's got a quick word with you. All of a sudden, the guy says, what? This, that, and that. It just blows up. So, slow down, just chill. You know? So he kind of pushes past me and the manager. His friends are coming up the stairs now because he's making so much noise. And it just escalates and escalates. He starts jumping on tables, he starts spitting on people, he's throwing food, knocking people's drinks over. And we at BOXPARK we have a policy that we don't really want to get hands-on people. You know, the management doesn't really like us being hands-on, so we have to corral and coax and move them out that way. You know, we don't really like holding up people and grabbing them up and whatever. And then it just got to that point where it was being a complete dick. And then it spills out outside, as we saw in the video. So what we see in the video, it spills out to outside. Then you actually see him push one of the door staff, take a swing at another, have a go at my manager, or actually a couple of the managers was there. And then I'm trying to move the guys, and he's directing his anger at me, and I don't know why he's directing his anger at me, because I didn't really have any interaction with him. I tried to, and he was like, he'd already spat at me upstairs and thrown food on me and all this. And it was kind of like, he was telling me he was going to knock me out, he was going to do that. I was like, all right, look, just leave, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
What was going through your head as he was coming towards you?
Well, actually, when we was outside, because what he actually does, there's a path for him to go, right, and he's got a wide open space. But he actually makes a dog leg, so he goes one way, looks and sees me, and then comes straight at me. Takes about 3 or 4 steps towards me, and I'm actually moving backwards. And then, as he does that, he raises his hand, and I've already seen what he's done inside, outside, and now with my staff, and now he's coming at me. And then, and I say this with all honesty, I didn't want to hit him. And as soon as I did, in my head I'm going, no, Julius, why? Because I'm saying to myself, why didn't you just slap him instead of punching him? And I, in a way I regret it, but in lots of ways I don't regret it, because the reason why I regret it is because I don't like hitting people. And I know that the kind of damage that I can do to ordinary Joe public. I really know that. And this is what people don't understand, or have to understand. Not they don't understand, but I have to learn to understand this, that my job for how many ever years it was, and I'm not just talking about my professional boxing career, but my fighting career, all I've ever done is hit things and hit people, you know? So I know that the kind of damage that I can do. You know, I'm a big guy. I've got a lot of weight, not just my belly, but my shoulders and everything, and I know how to punch. Yeah. And I wish I never had to do that. And as soon as I hit him, I was like, shit. In my head, I was like, shit, what have I done? Because honestly, when I say I don't like hitting people, you know? And then obviously the outcome was the outcome, you know?
So would you have done anything differently, looking back?
What? It's difficult for me to say, would I have done anything different? The situation was what the situation was. And I would hope that, well, I suppose the different thing I would have done is maybe slap him instead of punching him. Yeah. But then if you slap someone and it doesn't have the kind of the outcome that you want, then would that have escalated into a mass brawl with the other guys wanting to get involved and the other guys joining in? Because obviously what was found out later was at least 2 of the guys and the guy himself who ended up getting knocked out are boxers. Out of the group of 6, I think it was six guys, at least 3 of them were boxers, you know? So does that transfer to becoming a mass brawl outside BOXPARK with public?
Yeah, civilians.
With civilians who were trying to get into the venue at the same time. So, and like I say, I do regret the outcome. I do regret the outcome, the guy getting knocked out, because that's not why I'm. You know, it's funny that in a situation like that, say 30 years ago, that would have been the norm.
Yeah.
It would have very much been the norm, the normal thing to do. A guy like that, being as aggressive as he was, he would have ended up on the floor, but then bouncers, as they were called and known as, bouncers would have been kicking him in the head. They wouldn't have been putting him in recovery position. They would have been kicking him in the head. You know? So, that's the kind of where the industry has changed. You know, where the licensing and having a license has become, in some ways, a lifesaver. You know? Yeah, I just kind of look, I look at the incident, I look back on the incident and look and say, hopefully now what will change as regards to doormen, as regards to the way people even express themselves to doormen, is that yes, you can be angry, yes, you can be annoyed and pissed off with doormen, and we get the same thing, but you got to understand that we are human too.
Yeah.
We are human. We are only doing a job. We as doormen are only doing a job. And 90% of the guys that go to work don't go to work thinking, right, I'm going to lay someone out. I say like 90%. I think it might be 99% of the guys that go to work.
Yeah.
They're not thinking, right now, when they put the badge on, they're going, right now, I've got my gloves, putting on all this, put my hands on. You know, they're not thinking, all right, I'm gonna be rolling around on the floor with somebody. They're thinking, I'm going to work, I'm gonna do my job, and then I'm gonna go home.
I mean, most people wouldn't go to these kind of events if there wasn't security on the doors.
Yes.
You wouldn't step foot in a bar.
No,
whatever.
because, and I remember back in the day when I was working, I remember I worked at a venue, actually, Leicester Square, right next door to the Empire. It used to be the Empire, Leicester Square. There was a venue there where I saw a doorman get his face completely opened out with a pint glass. And then you think to yourself, wow, you know, wow, it can, yeah. Those are the things that were happening back in the day. But also, we've had incidents that I've had to deal with where guys have pulled out. I've had shot through a door. I've had doormen stabbed that I've worked with. So because they've intervened in a situation or told guys in the situation, guys, you can't come into the venue, you know, and then guys that I've worked with actually being stabbed. So we as doormen are risking, in some ways, we're risking our lives just to for people to enjoy themselves. And it's kind of as they say, an oxymoron. We're trying to keep you safe. But how do we keep you safe if you're trying to stab us and yeah, exactly. You know, so it's difficult.
Going back to the BOXPARK incident, is there anything if you could send a message to the guy that you punched?
If I could send a message to the guy, it's kind of just a message of, I hope and I know that you're all right. To me, it's not my first option, but you have to understand that we're human too, and just kind of like have this as a life lesson. You know, you never know who's working the doors. You never know what those guys have done in their life, maybe even what they're going through.
Yeah.
You know, at that certain particular time, and I will say that you know, I say to the guys at work the guys that I work with, you can't bring your baggage from home to work. You're here to do a job, so you know what you're doing. You know, but yeah, it's just, you know, have this as a life lesson, you know, and just think.
And then after this happened, what happened with the SIA, the police?
Yeah, so I was actually, after the incident, I was actually arrested, taken to the police station, and I spent about 4 hours, four and a half hours in the police station. What was good about that 4.5 hours is that I was able to actually go to sleep. I got into the police station, they put me in a cell, and I just zonked out. I was tired. I was tired.
Were you not stressed or worrying about what was going to happen?
No, because I knew that what I'd done was the right thing.
Yeah.
What I did was the right thing to do. As far as quelling and stopping that situation. I believe if it had gone to court, then I would have been vindicated. As the police had said, and as the police did, there was no further action taken. That was, the incident happened on a Saturday. Sunday I came to work, Monday I came to work. Monday night, by the time I got home, I'd seen that it started blowing up, the video had surfaced, and Tuesday, by Tuesday afternoon I spoke to the CEO of BOXPARK, and he'd obviously given me his backing, which I was 100% grateful for.
Everyone on social media as well got behind it.
Yeah, everybody on social media, which was really, I was actually really taken aback by that, because I'm not really social media savvy like that. I've got an Instagram account, and I was just kind of, I didn't know that so many people had seen this video. I know the video was out there, but then I think by Tuesday afternoon, I'd known that there was like 10 million views. And I'm going, why do people, and in my head I'm thinking, why do people, because my phone hadn't stopped pinging and ringing and messaging and whatever. And I'm saying, why do people want to watch somebody get knocked out, right? And it weren't, say, maybe the fact that it was just someone getting knocked out, but it was the whole entirety of the incident, how the guy was being aggressive and doing what he was doing. And then some people said that I was stalking the guy, right? They said that I was stalking him. And I was like, no, I want the guy to leave. I want him to move and come out of that. If he'd done all of what he did outside and went away screaming and shouting, I would have been more than happy. I was, I didn't see you, bye, go, done. But yeah, then it kind of went viral. And that was one of the weirdest things I've ever experienced, I think. Even though in my boxing career that I had all that attention with Mike Tyson, we had reporters coming up to us and sticking a microphone in their faces and asking you questions. But with this viral stuff, it's
worse.
It really is a totally different animal.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, as far as taking away things from that incident, you know, yeah, it's just to be mindful. So when I'm at work, I take my job very seriously, and I take the looking after the people that I work with very seriously. So I don't like people, because what I found is, and it goes back a little bit to the pandemic, right? That we found that kind of the people at the lower end of the pay scale are the people that keep things moving in this country. So we as door staff are regularly, you'll get guys and women saying, "Oh, you only get paid like £9.50 an hour, so who am I to respect you?" You know? And then I've seen it with bar staff, how people come to the bar and because they're not getting served quick enough, they'll abuse the bar staff. And then in BOXPARK, we have the cleaners and stuff like that. And guys and women kind of just throwing their food on the floor and throwing their drinks and expecting that the cleaners and that are happy to do a job of cleaning up after these people. I think that's very disrespectful.
Yeah. So
I do take my job, and when I see and hear of people abusing staff in BOXPARK, I do take it very seriously. You know, I don't like it. And I think it's kind of people's mentality that they think because these people are maybe lowly paid, that they should be lowly talked to and spoken to like they don't mean anything. I think that's
wrong.
Yes, it is definitely wrong. You know, and I kind of, like I say, I think with the industry as a whole, you know, if we were say door staff getting paid £35 an hour, yeah, would people talk to us different? Would people treat us different? Knowing that most of the people that will come to the venue that we are protecting, we're getting paid more money than they are. You know, which regardless of whatever job they're in. You know, would they talk to us different? Would they respect us different? Okay. So that's kind of like it's like that food for thought. You know, don't treat people badly because you think they're lowly paid. You know, they have a job to do. They're doing a job. They're feeding their family. They're looking after you. They're keeping you clean and healthy and safe. You know, so treat them with respect. So they're feeding you.
You've got your license back.
Yes.
That's all fine.
Yeah.
And you're back to work.
Yeah. So I had to do an appeal because the SIA suspended my license, which I took as being protocol. So I didn't take it as being a personal thing. Because they said, yes, that they'd seen the video. There was a video on social media of me knocking someone out. And then, obviously, we had to make the appeal. Roger Wade, the CEO of BOXPARK, had stepped up and backed me. Because he'd said he'd seen the videos or the CCTV that was inside the venue, and understood from his managers and everybody how the event or how that situation had occurred. So he was more than happy to back me, and I really appreciate him for that because he's actually a good guy. He's a really good guy. And then obviously the police NFA'd. And then it was just down to the SIA to do their checks and balances, which but the only thing for me, what I would say is that if it had been, say, I know that I have a voice as such, that my name has been in the media for many years maybe, but maybe not prominent as it is right now. But if it was just ordinary Joe blogs that had done the same thing, would he have got the same outcome? Maybe not. So and that's why I would like to see with the SIA some changes, because we also need protection. We pay our license fees, and we do these courses and stuff, and we pay our license fees to get our badges to work. And yes, we're kind of in some ways, yes, we're volunteering to go into this industry, but also we need protections. And I don't think the SIA has done the greatest job in protecting door staff that do have the SIA license.
Yeah, I mean, these incidents will happen
Up and down the country every day.
Every day.
You know,
Yeah.
no doubt about that. But would if it happened, say in Birmingham or West London or South London, would the same with kind of someone filming, would it have the same outcome?
Yeah, because you're probably lucky that obviously there was loads of CCTV.
Yes.
There's a video out,
Yeah.
and people vouching for you.
Yes.
Whereas other people might not.
That's it. Yeah. Exactly. And I know that it's a difficult thing, and you can't, like, every incident has to be judged on its merits. Every incident has to be judged on its merits. But I would just wish and I hope that actually the SIA is seeing something like this and seeing this incident and understanding where we are as security personnel and door managers and whatever, can have a bit more protection from the SIA.
Well, I think we've absolutely smashed through everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, anyone working in security or looking to get into security, I'm sure they've learned loads from this.
I hope so.
Yeah, obviously it's good to address the incident as well. Probably not how we wanted it to go, but these things happen.
Yeah,
these things happen in security.
Yeah,
the guy's safe. That's the main thing. Yeah, thank you so much.
No problem.
Really appreciate it.
Cole, great.
Yeah, great to meet you.
Thank you very much.
I've been Carl Randall. This is Security Insider. Make sure to like, subscribe, and put on that notification bell for more security-related content.